go.
Welcome to Ask See Anything, a Moser Consulting podcast where we explore the stories, passions, and perspectives that make our people and our community so unique. I'm your host, Latisha Guinn, marketing coordinator here at Moser, where I also have the privilege of bringing this podcast to life, from content creation to connecting with incredible guests. Today's episode is all about impact, purpose, and a little bit of self-expression. I'm joined by Chris Eckstein, who each year raises money for St. Baldricks Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to funding childhood cancer research. And yes, that includes some very memorable hair transformations along the way. Chris, I'm excited to have you here. Let's dive in.
All right, thanks for having me.
Super happy to have you here. I remember the first time I saw you come into the office with green hair. And I was like, this is amazing, and I got to find out what this is all about. And then you told me the story about how you got involved, but obviously we want our listeners to hear about it too. So, can you tell us how you first got involved with the St. Baldrick's Foundation?
Sure, I can do that. So this is my 12th year that I have been part of the Shavee group where I shave my head at the end of the fundraising. I've been doing the color that you've seen to the last 2 years for the last 5 years now.
Yeah.
But I got involved with this as part of my son when he was playing youth hockey. The hockey rink in Carmel sponsored this event, and the teams would sign up. They'd have challenges within the team, and all these little kids would be running around bald, for a month or so until their hair grew back. But that's how I got started. And I just the more I looked into the organization, and it's a charitable organization. Like 92% of the money that they raise goes back into research for childhood cancer cures or the administration of doing that, right? I think 66% goes to the hospitals and the research groups, and the rest takes a fair amount to run the event and run the organization itself. So they've given out, I've got the number here, since 2005, $371 million in research grants. It's all based in the US around, to the groups that are supporting childhood cancer research. So it's a pretty cool organization. That's why I stayed with it. And continue to do it, I guess, virtually since I'm not associated with a team or anymore or a group. And I've got to give a shout out to my barber, Jason, up in Carmel, who has volunteered his time the whole time. He used to bring his barbershop into the ice rink and do shaves. He would take a Saturday off, close the shop, and come and do it. So he volunteers his time still as well as a couple of folks who've been with him a long time do that as well. So it's been great.
How would you say that other people, like if they want to get started, how would they get involved?
They can reach out to St. Baldrick's directly, and all you need to do is reach out and tell them you'd like to become a virtual member, and they will set up an account for you, an online account that you can then manage how you direct your fundraising activity. They'll give you QR codes. They'll give you want to do things with Facebook or other online that give you that direction. If you're going to go into the media at some point, they give you directions on how to interact with the media, TV or things like that. They're very well organized, and their support has been tremendous for me as well. So this year I had an issue where people were donating and I couldn't find it, and somehow it was moved to 2023. So they found it, moved everything over, no issues, and they're like, we'll keep looking for that, but if you find anything else, let us know. So we want to make sure it gets accounted correctly. So
Chris, real quick, is the fundraising still going on? Do you have a QR code or something that you could give to us that I could put up on the screen while you were talking? That
this is a shirt my wonderful wife made for me this year. And I don't know if you can see all the different hair colors I've had over the years. But yeah, this worked out well. I wore it around. I brought it into the office. I had multiple people donate off of this shirt, and it worked out really well.
In the entire time that you've been doing it, have you ever gotten someone else to participate in it?
I don't think I've had that happen to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I have had a lot of fun with my barber walking into his shop after he shaved my head and I still have my beard all colored. This was on a St. Patrick's Day a few years ago in downtown Carmel. And I walked in with the beer and I said, everybody, and the shop was full, wall to wall. I said, everybody, you got to watch this guy. I came in for a simple haircut and look what he did to me. And he's like, whoa. So he said, well, he explained what was going on. Somebody walked up and gave me 20 bucks. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome.
and I looked, you need a beer, Jason? I'll go get you one. He goes, I got a beer. Go get out of here, right? So that was pretty cool to have fun like that with him and others in the community. You know, a lot of kids who look and point at me, and they'll come up and try and talk to me. And I always ask them where their parents are. Where are your parents? You know, let's get that um,
Yeah.
sorted out real quick because don't want any issues with that. But because it is very different when you
Yeah.
see, you know, I'm 6'4", I'm a bigger guy with colored hair and bald and a weird beard, you know, for 2 or 3 weeks a year. So it's pretty
Oh,
fun. I enjoy it. I get to the point where I forget. I don't even after a day, I don't even remember I've done it unless you're looking in the mirror, right? So it's fun. I think I've looked up. I've raised close to $30,000 in 12 years, and so that and I don't really have a goal per se, but every year I say $2,500. I've gone over it. I've been a little under it, but I don't. I send out two emails when I do it. You know, when I do it a month later, it's like that's it. I'm not gonna. You know, I'm not chasing people for money. It's just hey, it's something I do. I get 30 or 40 people every year that donate money, so I'm just greatly appreciative of that. And I thought I was done, and my wife said, "Well, next year when you do it." It's like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're doing it
right. So the wife was a little bit of motivation to continue doing it.
with the shirt." Yeah, she goes, "When I get your shirt next year, the QR code's going to be bigger, and there'll be another picture, of course." And you know, Tish, I have a good story, a follow-up story to you seeing me last year with the green hair. That was the most. I had black hair and a green beard or something
Yes.
like that. But
Stark contrast.
yeah, and it was related to St. Patrick's Day. And this whole thing is related to St. Patrick's Day. There is no St. Baldrick. It's shaving your head bald, and they have their first event on St. Patrick's Day. So they call it Baldricks.
Hmm.
That's the genesis of it, right? But when I joined Moser, I don't know if you've heard the story. I might have told it last year with Brian. I had just colored my hair berry purple and a rainbow beard, literally rainbow. And the recruiter called me. Hey, you applied for a job. We'd like to interview you tomorrow in the office. Wow, okay, great. You need to know I do a charity, explained to him what was going on. He said, let me call. So he called me back. He said, they'll just be jealous you have hair. Come on in.
Ah, that's true. Because they
So
don't.
yeah, they don't. I came in, I had a suit on, tie. I saw Sam, or, you know, working the desk, right?
Yeah.
And she thought I was a client. So when I joined and I came back you know, a month later when I joined, I went up to her. I said, "Hey, you probably don't remember me, but that's when she said, "Oh my God, I thought you were a client."
Oh my
So
God.
it's fun. Yeah, it was great. We great interviews. I'm glad that all worked out. I've been with Moser 2 years now, and looking forward to more. So
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Moser. Come in as yourself, right?
mhm. Yep,
The number one thing is, do you have expertise? And if you
can you
do,
do the
awesome.
job?
But you can be
Yeah,
yourself. I love that.
yeah. This year, for those who saw me, I was a gold, supposed to be an orange beard, and it sort of turned yellowish over time. And I had a pink, right here. I forget the name of this thing.
Soul
For
patch.
my granddaughter, right?
Yeah.
Because she wanted pink, and I had two stripes that were orange and turned yellow, and I needed something else, so I put green in my eyebrows, and that really made it work.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
To Tisha's point, you know, Mosier does really let you be yourself. But if yourself happens to be community minded and a believer and practicer of servant leadership, even better. You fit right in.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I do have a question. So, from start to finish, like when you get this started, so the first thing you do is cut your hair. Is that correct?
well, it's sort of the last thing I
The
do
last
after.
thing. Okay. Take
Yeah,
me through the
so
process of when it starts to finish.
I'll be shaving the rest of the beard off when I get home and I hit 70 degrees, it comes off right. Come Labor Day, I start the beard and I don't touch it. Well, I trim it up a little bit, but it grows until the middle of March. Around Christmas time, I stop getting my hair cut, so it grows out quite a bit. And right after the first of the year is when I contact St. Baldricks. I get my account set up and ensure that everything works like it's supposed to. And then I pull out the old emails I've sent out, update them, add new ones as I've got new friends and contacts and such, and start the fundraising. So I'd say the fundraising goes 4 to 6 weeks. And to Brian's question earlier, there is no end date. As I learned this year, you can donate and it will go to 2023 still. So um, prefer it stays in the year we're in. I think I have to pick a date when I shave. So I do pick a date and I pick like March 20th and I don't remember if that's the exact date I did it, but I put a date out there. Most people think it stops then, but it's like, no, you can still donate today. If anybody wants to donate based on this, or I've got it's still in Facebook until another, I think, week from now before that sort of goes dormant. You can donate all year long. And
What's
you
been the
could
most impactful or memorable moment you've had from participating in the foundation?
probably 2 or 3 times, twice within the Carmel hockey community, kid players have had cancer and
Mhm.
they've recovered through, treatment and such. So seeing them come out and take the ice after they've, rang the bell, that's
Yeah,
been the most heartwarming, really tugs at me. It's like, hey, this is really doing something and locally as well. So
yeah,
from actual purely the reason why I do it. So there's a lot of good stories like the Jason story in the barbershop as well, but that's really the key point why I do it is for the kids.
yeah, that's amazing. And I would presume that majority of the people that participate are men. Have you seen any women that have participated and gotten their hair shaved?
I've seen many women do it. Yes.
Really?
Many women, yes, do it. In person at the hockey rink. And they were actually she ran the administrative component of the rink for the hockey community. And she was a cancer survivor. And I think she raised like $10,000 the one year that I saw her there. And yeah, but I've seen 2 or 3 in Carmel do it, but it's not uncommon. And the majority are men. You're right, Tish. But yeah, women do it. Sure.
That's incredible. Now, as far as supporting this cause, it can be an emotional thing. Like, especially parents whose children have experienced cancer. How do you stay motivated every year to keep participating?
The joke was to me, and it's if my hair keeps growing back, I'll keep doing it. But then there became an age-related component to it where I thought it was about there. Like, man, I can keep doing this. So I know that you're right. Several of the folks who donate, they put in the donation. It's in memory of or for someone who's going through cancer, treatment. So that is why I still do it, honestly. The fun part I have with it is doing the hair color, and whoever wants to donate the most money can pick those colors every year. And and there's like a month window. And I gotta tell you, there's 2 guys I know, and they wait till the last minute of when I say you have to donate, literally, and out to try to outdo each other every year.
I
Wow.
love that.
That's called
So
sniping.
they're 1-1. Last year, one guy won. This year, the other guy won. So I'll give him another chance next year.
Yeah, that's incredible. So let's say people are listening to this podcast, they want to get involved, but they're worried, how would I even begin to fundraise? What strategies have you used that work best?
2 strategies. Well, there's like 2 I've used. The one I've got have not used yet, but it's going through my contact list and basically send an email out. I do a blind copy, so it's not you don't get everybody's names, that's involved. But I'm over 110 names at least I think that I target and I send to, and that refreshes every year. depending on participation is key. If I know someone's not going to participate or they've moved on, or I mean moved on like moved and I've lost their email or something, it's that's key. But email is the one, and a Facebook campaign.
Mhm.
Facebook's really easy to do, so I do it every year. And I don't generate a lot of fundraising on that, but it's possible to do that. I believe you can do it on two or three other social media platforms. I'm not a big person on those, but you can do that as well. And then the third one, I do have family that works in the local news, uh,
Mhm.
I think Fox News now, and he has offered to make it public for
Mhm.
me. And I've looked at what it takes to do that through St. Baldricks, and I just haven't done it yet. I probably should, because they would put me on sort of before, maybe during and after, and a short segment, I'm sure, but that would be another opportunity. If you have an opportunity to do that, I would recommend that. Just have to make myself do it. So,
Yeah. Well, so this year it was the t-shirt that was new. Next
mhm.
year we're gonna see Chris on Fox News showing off his Baldricks fundraiser involvement, and I think that would be incredible, Chris. I think you're very personable. People are gonna love it, especially if you go on with all the colors. It'll
Yeah,
be
I'll
great.
have
So
I'll have the shirts, I'll have pictures, so there'll be some history there. You can see, the evidence of some of my insanity that happens, I guess. So, but I probably next year I probably ought to try and put a Moser team together and see if I can get anybody to join me and
yeah, that would be great, and
do it
we
that
would
way.
totally help you with that. We can actually do a podcast before you start. Like, let's
Uh-huh.
say when you know that you're about to grow out your hair and it's time, we can do a podcast then to let everybody know, hey, if you want to get involved, Chris is growing his hair out. Let's all do it too and see how many people we can get involved. And then at the end, we can get everybody who did get involved into the podcast. And I think it would be incredible.
Yeah, we can do group photos, individual and group photos.
So another good story. We were in Denver a few weeks ago with our granddaughter. We went to the zoo. And we're walking around having a great time, and there somehow I had her on my shoulders under a great big like fake jaw of a shark, right? So I'm in there and they're taking pictures, and apparently there's this little kid just off to my left, and he was staring up and frozen, and he wouldn't move. And his parents were yelling at him to move, move, move because of the pictures, right? And I got the picture, and it's so funny. He's just like, eyes are big, looking straight at me, going, "What is going on here?" So another example of a kid, that's seeing something. And the other thing I
Well,
get, as it gets long after Christmas, a lot of kids think I'm Santa Claus walking in the grocery store,
yep.
asking their parents of that age, right? Is
Yeah.
that Santa Claus? And I try to do a low ho 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 under my breath as I walk by, and their eyes get really big. So I have fun with that too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, well, and obviously people can't tell how tall you are. So let them, how tall are you, Chris?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah. So you're a giant man walking in, this hair, all different colors. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
definitely a sight to see for sure.
Very good. I'll definitely share pictures of everything that you can share on the podcast here. Look forward to seeing it. So,
Yeah. Awesome. And don't forget about next year because we're going hard on this next year.
Who knows what next year holds for me, but I'm in. Well,
yep.
if I have anything to shave next year, I'm in.
The other thing I will recommend, given Indiana weather can be unpredictable, always have a beanie cap in your back pocket or your coat. Because when your hair comes off, guess what happens? Your insulation is gone
Yeah, you get cold
and you
fast.
get cold. Yeah, the beard helps, but when it goes off the top, it is cold.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I learned. Every time I go to the shave now, I've got one in my car, my coat, or something, right, that to keep from freezing to death. So
You're literally walking outside and you can see the steam coming off of your
something like that. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you so much for joining us and letting us know more about your involvement in the St. Baldrick's Foundation. And we look forward to next year.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Chris, we want to thank you again for sharing your story and for the incredible impact you're making. It's inspiring to see how passion and purpose can truly make a difference. And a special shout out to Jason Peak at Main Street Barbershop here in Carmel, who closes his shop each year to provide free haircuts to participants. That kind of generosity and community support is what makes events like this so meaningful. And thank you to everyone tuning in to this week's episode of Ask You Anything, brought to you by Moser Consulting. We hope you enjoyed learning more about St. Baldrick's Foundation and feel inspired to get involved in a cause that matters to you. Be sure to join us next time as we dive in deeper with our resident experts and explore what they're currently working on. And if you have ideas and topics you'd like us to cover, connect with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until then, so long, everybody.